This is the character, right?
Yes, sir.
And then I have to open the walk poses for your reference. So it is visible, right? The poses. Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir.
So if you look, focus on this pose, so it says this one, it is identified as contact pose, which is written here, the contact poses. Then this is passing pose, this is down pose and up pose. So altogether 5 poses, right? This is a bit cartoony and bit more than natural form. So for understanding, you can go through. So these kind of poses you are supposed to create by a 3D model, which is, we can say, rig character. Since we are using Maya, so in Maya, right? So two things we can do. One is straight head animation, that I'm going to create the first contact pose, then the down pose, then the passing pose, then the up pose, and then coming to uh, contact pose 2, right? So contact pose 1 to first to contact pose 2 is one step. We can have one step walk. So on you can count. If there are 5 contact poses, means 4 steps. Character is covering 4 steps, right? So in just sake of discussion, we can discuss in this way. So this poses, and you can see this is the 2 straight line. So somewhere character is below to that line, and somewhere character is going to up. So that is bounce of your character going up and down. To understand that, you have to do it, right? So going back to Maya. So it is for anyone who wants to still having some doubt, they can and clarify. Very basic character, so that you can focus on very small part of your animation. So you can get a question that why this character is having that black and different kind of color. It is to meant of ease of your animation, so that while you are working on from side, so accidentally you should not animating the same leg again. For example, if it is two side lights, it is like this. So both the leg is in the same way. It could be possible by in the process of doing animation, you can accidentally select something else. To avoid that, they are creating this two color of controller also, blue and red. Generally, you can find in every kind of character. Every rig having the basic concept same, but it is available. It could be available with this tool, or it could be here, and it's totally the freedom of the rigger, where he or she wants that controller should be there. So before starting animation, I always say that you since I don't have much time, and so I simply drag and drop this character. But I advise you to always go for file and create set a project, right? So in file itself, you can see project windows. So it asks the name of your project. So you can say, okay, new. It is going to be my maybe animation one, whatever way, and location where exactly you have created your Maya folder, the entire production file will go. That you have to highlight over here, and at that location, this all files is going to be created its own, right? This is whatever is given here, like scene, template, images. So you can keep reference images, image folder. You can see keep source texture or template or script. It's too advanced about talking about script. You can sound file. You can keep in sound clips. Some reference you can see. So things are there. Movies means where you play blast, it goes here. If you play blast to check your rough animation, it's automatically gets saved there. So things is like that, and there's a auto save also. If you click that this button, it should be there in here only. Maybe save action. So this is the action undo. So this is auto save. If you click, so it asks within how much time interval it should automatically save your file. So it's up to you, your workflow, whether it could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. I advise use in initial stage because then you start depending on that. It should be part of your practice that you save it on the regular interval, right? And there itself, before doing animation, different kind of workflow is there. So generally, especially this tangent is there, and apart from, you can find only two options. Either it is showing you only poses, whatever frame you are doing, since it's all about doing poses, so it only show poses. The setting for that is your in tangent could be linear, okay, and your out tangent is going to be step. So apart from this setting, especially out tangent, if you create anything apart from step, it creates in the very first stage your in between as well, which is created by your system. So you can explore both the way and take a logical call which method you want to follow. My experience is, if even if you find out on online on Google, then most of the this especially Hollywood or series or big project, they generally follow this one. They work on first key poses, and then later on they add switch to this. Once they have done with every poses, they are ready. Okay, my poses are ready. Now I'm going for second stage, that is breakdown. So still many of you can go breakdown, adding breakdown. So breakdown is nothing but, let's say there are 5 poses, pose 1, A, B, C, D, whatever. So from A to B, what manner, what could be the process, what could be the path, that based on your breakdown key you decide. Like for example, there are 2 poses, A and B of ball, both are on the ground. So if you create a breakdown in air, it means your ball is going from a kind of bounce, ground to air, air to ground. And if the same pose B, if you are creating on the ground, it is ground to ground to ground, right? Slowly you'll come to know. It could be a little bit heavy dose for you in initial stage. So once you are specifically only doing character animation in third sem, we'll go on more and more specific repeatedly. So once you set and once your scene is ready, generally I ask student to create camera so that it should match with your storyboard pose, what kind of camera he or she, the director wants. So it could be like this way, this way, this way, whatever that based on your storyboard. So you can go to create camera like I have told you yesterday. So camera, and once you create it, ask the name, like camera one is basic default name. You can either give the scene number or shot number to, so you can remember that, right? So walk cycle, since we are planning for side, so you have to go to panel and layouts, 2 panels side by side, one where you are working, one you are looking. So for example, panel, you have to simply go to right view. It's available. Now, how the things start? There are controllers. Before doing anything, you have to try to find out what exactly it works for you. So if I select and press W, E, R, any of the key. So E, R, so these are gray. If I press F, you can see in detail. If I press W, so you can see color means it is active, and it is only active Y-axis. In channel box, you can see it's only visible Y-axis. So you can control Y-axis from here. And if I press E, so it is not allowing to rotate, or if I pressing R, it is not going to allow you to do any kind of scaling. So every controller you have to test before doing any kind of animation. What if I go? So if I press W, it means it is movable. E means it is going to be rotate. R is blocked because you are not supposed to scale. So what if I select and do this? So it is for your stretch and squash kind of bounce ball, right? So from here you can control and you can set that stretch and squash key over there. So let's say if I go to 0, it's a neutral position on frame number 1. I want to set a key. So to set a key means nothing but, in very ordinary terminology, you have to lock the position. Means you have to lock the position, you have to freeze the position, you have to set the pose. Different way of saying the same thing. I want this is going to be in very neutral pose from here. So either I press key S. If I press S key on my keyboard, so you can see this on frame number 1, there is a red color tick. It means it is key, and apart from there, if you look at the channel box, it's now highlighted with red. So whenever you see this kind of this color, so it's simply you can say that it is keyed. A key has been set on that rig. So on. See, if I select it, it is showing, but if I am selecting, it's not showing anything. Means the key is not been set on this controller, right? And whenever you are doing any animation, my advice to create a button to control. Otherwise, since it's very simple character, so it's easy to like drag and selection and set a key on frame number 1. So it create key for every controller. So now you can see this red one tick is there. Whatever controller if I select, right? So it is always on first key. You have to set a key. This is simple. That's why you can do it. Otherwise, if once we go for complex, a bit complex character, for that we have to create a mel button. That will I will tell you later when we are going to use a bit dense character. So now I want that walk cycle first pose. So you can see the first pose. One front leg is there. So white is here is the your front leg which is facing your camera. The black is the other side, means the other way. So after some time you can see the back side, the black one is coming forward. So it's very common. You can understand your leg is going left and right, left and right, and so on. So you have to create your first contact pose in Maya. Right, so I have to create that this leg should go, and I should know, because before doing animation I have to test the rig. So it is tested that this is going to be in this way. So my advice, you select this the base control, but slightly bend, right? My key is on first frame, and I have kept this icon on. This is auto key. Whatever I'm doing, it is going to be converted into key, right? If it is off and you are doing anything, and apart from that, make sure this is 24 fps. So, default it is play every frame. So you find your animation is very fast. So make sure it is 24 fps. So it is going to be like this, and never ever um, stretch your leg too much, even though it's a 90-degree in drawing reference image. If you look at this, it's very straight. But in 3D, characters, otherwise there would be a problem of knee popping. So slightly, it should not be 100% on 90 degree. It should be, you can say 85 or something. Slightly bend must be there in elbow as well as knee also. Okay. So you have to even turn your character, rotate your character, so that you should know uh, it is going to be rotated in this way, because your front leg is there that way, right? So this way, and in channel box you should know this is 21, so you can just make it round figure, could be either 20. So you can copy, otherwise once the other side doing -20, this side you can add. Make sure it should be active. Now take time to set your key poses. And apart from there, you can see many other controllers are there. So I can control the feet. Generally, you will find this kind of overall this kind of control there. So what if I use foot roll, select this one and middle mouse. I'm holding my middle mouse, and in viewport left and right. You can see left and right. I'm holding my middle mouse. left and right, I think this should be there, this kind of bend, and then very slightly you have to like this. Again, I'm going to refer a pose, so it is like this. It's slightly bent from toe and slightly bent from knee. So again, try to find out which controller is going to fulfill my requirement. So is it maybe, may not be. So it is not. So you can find what if I'm doing so. So this kind of action is there. It's not giving me the required pose, so I have to find out what the exact way of doing. But if I rotate it, or should I rotate it? So it is available in rotation. It is not, means I'm going to rotate from here. Then should not go inside that. And this is not necessary to be in the same way for any other character. Or even after some time you are repeating this, you would be having some new idea to create this pose, right? So this is not like mathematics that it is going to be this way only. The best way, it's based on your experience, based on the availability of rig and a deformation. So these are the knee controller, right? Mostly if you look at the bend one, this blue one, so I can give the direction to knee wherever it is. Again, selecting all, pressing S key, making sure that all whatever pose I have created should get keyed over there. Now I'm planning, so next pose, I'm going to on frame number 2, pressing S, creating this one. So what exactly have that my this front one, I'm doing straight ahead animation, one after another. So this pose comes and settle down on ground. So make sure it should be this way. My character is coming more down, and this is like this way, the pointing here. So just zero it down. Since my character is going down, so I'm bring it down. It's touching the ground. So you can see the knee bend is there. And this is slightly going back, and this way. You have to scroll down and find out. Then go to frame number 3, set a key. Find out about your reference. So it's going like this leg is going to be stretch one. This is coming forward half, and pose is going much beyond this is the first pose. So I'm bringing this one closer. At the same time, you have to rotate this one. It is bending for backside, indicating backside, you can say. So take a call which way it is, whether it's like this or you are going to rotate this one. And select all this key, make a key on 4. So now you can see it's on toe, the entire weight shifting to next, to the entire balance on the toe only. So slightly little back. Then again on step number 5, set a key. It is coming down. Just go to show, hide your nerve curves. So this is just one step. This way you have to create how many steps? 5 steps, 6 steps. So this is the static walk only, not the progress. It is going to be there only. So select all. Now you have to set the timing. Shift select, click this all the 5 poses, and there are 2 arrows you can see. This is the middle one, 2 arrows, and the last. So last one you have to stretch it. Right click, make sure it is snap. Okay, it is just a you can say very one step pose only. If you select this all, double click here, right click, tangents, go to step, and you can see it's only showing the step only. So once you have done that, you have to slightly add this one, stretch and squash. Select this one. So frame number 1 and neutral. Here it is going to down, so then you slightly do like this. Right? So that cartoony kind of flubby things you can add in this. It depends how much exaggeration you want. It can be reduced down, it can be totally, you can keep less intensity of that. Hide your curves. Hope those were there. It's clear to all of them.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. So